Hey everybody, this is India with Fashion Home Life by E. Thank you so much for watching my video. Let's go ahead and get into this topic where I saw this post, a few posts on YouTube about a situation, an unfortunate situation for everybody involved. And that is a woman was held against her will. The salon owner actually physically put her hands and touched and grabbed the customer's hair. So we want to talk about that for a second because we definitely have to start a massively wide thing where people are respecting others. And if there's a dispute, there's a disagreement, whether you're in the right or in the wrong, there are better ways to handle it. Because in today's time where people are so angry, people are very easy to go from 0 to 100, and people are very easily losing their businesses, losing their, like, not being here on the earth anymore. Had to word it that way because I'm not sure about the wording for YouTube. And we just really need to talk about that because first it starts with being able to manage a conflict in a better way than just escalating it and knowing that. Now, I will link a video to Undisputable where they go into a lot more detail. But I wanted to talk about this situation happened in Alabama, and this is alleged, not fact. This is my opinion. But I think the key things here are the fact that this person, she had a communication with the salon owner, according to her. I'll say allegedly for legal purposes, of course. So allegedly, she contacted the salon owner, and via text message, they talked about a same day appointment for boho braids. Now, I believe the person said that the conversation with them via text was 200 and up. Well, that person did pay the $200. Some kind of way in that situation, she was charged more money. I don't want to say the difference was that she was asked for $50 more because she got human hair, which obviously human hair is more expensive when you're doing the boho braids, like, tying these into braids. That's what you're doing. And apologies about the lighting. I am recording from a hotel in Panama, so I just got to go with it for this. And there are other tactics, especially when either whether you're a customer or especially when you're a business owner, a small business owner, where something small can easily end in a drastic situation where you lose your business. That also could mean injuries or something more drastic than that. You have to have ways, whether you're right or wrong, to dispute those. And going to the extreme of locking someone in is not the right way, whether you are in the right or not. And in this situation, I think what could have happened is a breakdown of communication. If the fees are going to be more expensive than you quoted, or it's going to be above that 200, because a lot of people see that number, and then, like, if it's 200 plus, if it's the plus, let that person know ahead of the service. So, for example, when the braids were happening, or before she started braiding, and she realized, okay, this is going to be more expensive because either your hair is very thick, or I have to use more packets of hair, like whatever it is going to cost more. Verbalize that to the customer ahead and say, hey, I know we talked about this price. Because of these factors, it's going to be more expensive. This is the price now. Are you okay with it? Easy peasy. That could have easily de-escalated this situation. Now, for some people, it may not have, but at least that first communication could have resolved this by her saying, "Oh, okay, it's $50 more. Let me go ahead and pay that," or no, I I don't want to pay the extra 50, so either refund me my money because the services have not begun yet, or you figure out something to do. But I think that was one thing. The communication was broken down there. If it's ever going to change, you want to communicate that. I think the other thing that was a mistake here is the fact that they locked her into, according to the customer, they locked her into the salon, and then two, so if you think about when you're having a dispute or a conversation, it can easily escalate when people feel like they are being ganged up on. So if there's a conversation happening with one stylist versus the customer, other people coming in put that person on alarm. Basically, they feel like they might be cornered, they might feel like you're crowding up on them. So one thing is, don't come into their personal space. Make sure you're keeping a decent distance. The other thing is, keep your tone calm. The other piece there is, not the tone and the volume of your voice. Don't use words that could potentially escalate the conversation. It's another thing that could have happened here. If there was a disagreement, then, oh, now you want this amount of money, then, is it worth you going to jail for an extra $50? Is it worth you going to jail for extra $100? You just never know how extreme a situation can get and how people react when they feel cornered. But that's another thing, because she did say two stylists. One was holding her hair. I want to say, I don't remember whether both, but at least one was. When you are, so first off, you've got your voice going on, but then when more than one person come around, that can, like I said, escalate the situation more. So you want to be mindful of that. Also, touching, that's just off limits. When you put your hands on someone else, that can quickly escalate the situation. I do think it's a positive thing that the customer reacted in the way that they did. They didn't immediately start trying to fight back physically or anything like that, which I think could have further escalated the situation. But you always, as a business owner, even as a customer, you want to think about, if I react in this way, or if I do this next step, what's going to happen next? And it's more important that you get home the way that you came, whether you're right or wrong. And I think we definitely have to have, as people who are getting services from other people, whether you're a customer or you're a business owner, have those things in your mind, having a mindset of making sure that it's not a pride thing. It's more of a, let me use tactics that are going to get the end result that I can hope for, or at least de-escalate the situation, because that's the best thing you want to do. You just never know how people are going to react and what extreme they're going to go through, and you always want to be careful with that. Make sure you throw your comments down below, and also watch the video. I want to get your thoughts, comments, more detail, more conversation, but we just definitely have to make sure we have a respect for each other and ways to react without escalating a situation in a violent way. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you again soon. Bye.